Hey guys, welcome back to the vlog. Today we're taking a little trip down memory lane of growing up in the 90s and 2000s with DVDs, VHS tapes, games, game guides, a lot of Disneyland and Disney stuff, physical media, and more is what we'll say. We're gonna go into the DVDs and Blu-rays. I've been very inspired by the physical media corner of the internet, so we're starting with The Nightmare Before Christmas. Bought sometime in the early 2000s from like the $5 bin at Walmart or Best Buy or somewhere like that. It says special edition, but honestly, I don't think there's that much special about it. No fun booklet or anything like that inside. More of a brochure, I guess you could say. All the different chapters of the movie, a little insight into the making of the film. I'm just so excited to look at this too because it's been so long since I pulled these out. Then we have the Spider-Man collection. We are big Spider-Man fans in this house. Even baby boy, which I'm very excited to say, he is only 4 months old still, but just stares and stares at it. So I'm gonna say that he's interested in Spider-Man. We're gonna go in the order that I feel is correct to share these. First is the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man collection. These are so much fun because it's like a little book, some different words from the filmmakers and little behind the scenes photos. So it is a 3-movie collection. The first Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man 2, which I think is my favorite out of this trilogy. Spider-Man 3, probably the least popular, but I kind of love this one unironically. I feel like it captures the essence of the time that this came out too. The back page is Spider-Man and MJ and the nest, the web there. And here is the back. Also includes over 30 hours of special features from all 3 films, documentaries, commentaries, music videos, gag reels. Gag reels also I feel like such a 2000s thing. In that same format we have the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie collection, Amazing Spider-Man 1 and Amazing Spider-Man 2, a little book just like the other one, different little photographs, behind the scenes stuff, words from the filmmakers, all kinds of fun stuff. Fun fact I have to share, so Mark Webb directed these Spider-Man movies. He also directed a couple My Chemical Romance music videos, specifically Helena and I'm Not Okay. If you ask me, the most iconic music videos of all time. The other fun fact I have to share doesn't really have to do with the Andrew Garfield movies as I share the rest of this little booklet. There is what that looks like, but it has to do with the Spider-Verse movies. The character of Penny Parker was partially created by Gerard Way, which is the singer of My Chemical Romance. It just makes my heart so happy because Marvel, Spider-Man, and My Chemical Romance are 2 of my biggest loves, so I just had to share. Then we've got No Way Home. Tom Holland's Spidey on the cover there. Obviously, the best Marvel movie of all time, according to Scott Menzel there. 2 discs in here. 1 regular Blu-ray and then 1 Ultra HD 4K. So over 80 minutes of bonus content. A gag reel on here too. Love to see it. Just a lovely little Spidey family to have the 3 of these all together. The last one we have is Venom, which is also a Blu-ray. There's less DVDs than I thought in this collection. They're mostly Blu-ray. 3 discs in here. Fun little flaps that goes across like this. Not like the most critically acclaimed movie or anything like that, but I love Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock so much, so that's kind of what led this being into our collection. Then we have Scott Pilgrim versus the World. If you see the sticker on here, it says previewed, because this was a copy that I bought from Blockbuster when it was closing down, and I just feel so old to say that out loud. At the time I was kind of sad I couldn't get the actual release of the DVD, but looking at this now, the case itself has like the Blockbuster thing in Boston there. The DVD also says rental, and it now kind of feels like a relic of the time. The first Avengers movie, this was a Blu-ray and DVD combo, plus the digital copy, plus the music. So there is a lot to unpack here. I cannot tell you how obsessed with the MCU I was in this era. Still to this day, I'm very much an MCU girly. Okay, so there's a lot of fun things inside here. There's the DVD and the Blu-ray, exclusive Blu-ray bonus disc. Bonus disc? I can't even speak. Okay, bonus exclusive Blu-ray bonus disc. We're in a sleep regression, so I'm just gonna blame it on that. Ultimate Spider-Man on Disney XD. That even feels old to say out loud. Once Upon a Time on ABC. That was still on TV at the time this came out, so that's crazy. But this one's just like a little ad, games and different media and stuff. But yes, another very well loved piece of media in this collection. It feels like not that long ago this came out in theaters, but it was actually quite long ago. Princess Mononoke, Studio Ghibli, when it was released by Disney. And look at what it says on the bottom here, the Star Wars of animated films. That makes my fangirl heart very happy. Another one of my all-time favorite movies. This one's not that exciting, just the DVD itself. There's a better look at the disc. Very nice. I don't even know who publishes the Ghibli films now, but I don't think it's Disney anymore for sure. And speaking of Star Wars, the only physical media I have of the films is Rogue One, which might seem a little bit crazy, but like I mentioned, this collection is all bought on release. For one, I was a very closeted Star Wars fan growing up in the prequels era. If you know, you know. A lot of us were bullied at the time. Fast forward a couple years, this movie came out. I've thought about looking up the prequels on DVD and stuff. Just haven't really been compelled to take that leap. Maybe now's the time to do that before they go out of existence. But here is the Blu-ray. Got Stormtroopers on the beach in the disc there. Rogue One is actually Jitan's favorite Star Wars movie, my husband. I feel like I've said a million times here before, but my favorite is Revenge of the Sith. Let me know what yours are. We try to keep this a judgment-free fangirl zone, so don't be scared to share your favorite Star Wars movie. The cover of this is kind of holographic too, which is pretty cool. I do really like this movie, but it takes a lot for me emotionally to rewatch it. If you haven't watched it, I won't say any more than that. The VHS tape collection is very small, but very treasured. So we've got The Lion King and the first Pokemon movie. This copy has been so well loved over the years. I don't even know the exact year that my family bought this. This feels like so ancient to hold in my hands right now. Given everything that this has been through, I think it's in pretty good condition. The case, not so much. It's taken a little bit of wear and tear over the years. So let's do a nice little 360 view of this Walt Disney Masterpiece Collection. I don't know if I remember this correctly, but I feel like Disney used to do so many releases of their movies. It would be this big deal of it coming out of the vault here for only a little bit, then it was going back into the vault. Like the little commercials that used to play before the movie on these. I feel like that was somewhere in there. I don't know if I just made that up or not. The greatest wonder of all. I think I have to agree. Lion King is definitely among my top favorite Disney movies. Let me know what yours are. I know a lot of you guys are also big Disney people. Lion King, big Hercules. Lion King, Big Hero 6, Hercules, and I think a Goofy movie are probably my top favorites. A Sign of the Times growing up Japanese American in the Pokemon era. The first movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back. I feel like the art and marketing of this movie was very different between Japan and America. Early Pokemon anime in general was very different between the two. Most famously, onigiri being translated into jelly donuts. But here's what the tape itself looks like. Very well loved, but very well taken care of. Mewtwo no Gyakushu, and we'll do like a nice little 360 of this case as well. I grew up with family in Japan and they'd send us movies from there sometimes. A lot of the VHS tapes they put out there came in cases like this. This is also a little bit of a foreshadow of more to come in this collection because I was a huge Pokemon girly growing up. And to this day even. Next we're gonna go into the Disney collection, mostly Disneyland. If you're not a big Disney parks person and just want to see the game section, feel free to skip ahead. But as a big Disney parks nerd, I just feel like I want to discuss a lot of this. I'm a big map collector. I have like this huge stack of maps here. The first thing I have, I honestly have no memory of this, but it was a parade and the back was autographed. Dear Tracy, may all your wishes come true. Love, Aladdin. My name is spelled with a Y, but that's okay. Very blessed to grow up local to Disneyland and go a lot to the parks. The only way we were able to do that is because my mom's friend, I'm like holding this up the whole time I'm saying this, but the only way we could do that was because my mom had a friend that was a cast member. She would invite us to go. Always very kind and very generous with us. I have like a few bits and pieces from 90s Disneyland. I wish I had saved more of the maps from then, but two that I'm looking at right now are buttons. Character dining at the Disneyland Hotel in 1993. I will be dating myself more and more as we go through this. Goofy's Holiday Feast from 1998 at Goofy's Kitchen. I've seen so many people do fun DIYs with buttons like this. Tempted to do that with these, but kind of scared to because I'd be so heartbroken if I lost these at the parks. Goofy's Kitchen from 2000. The map stack also. The only two like really retro ones are from 2003 and 2004. Let's look at this one a little bit first. The back of it has an ad for Kodak cameras, like a physical film camera. Got some entertainment for both DCA and Disneyland. Tasmic, love to see her. Parade of the Stars. And the electrical parade was in DCA, which is really crazy. It feels like there was so much stuff going on back then. Disneyland and DCA were one like physical map back then, but DCA has changed so much. It's like actually kind of crazy. So the entrance still had the Golden Gate Bridge and the big California letters in front of the entrance. Got Millionaire our blades. Honestly, I don't even remember that. Bugs Land, which is now Avengers Campus. Cars Land did not exist. San Francisco definitely did not exist. It was still Pacific Wharf. Paradise Pier, now Pixar Pier, and the Maliboomer, I think it was called, like the drop ride was there. The swings still had the orange thing on it. I don't even think World of Color was here yet. It's just crazy to look at how much this park has changed. January 2003. Like the maps were so specifically printed back then too, even by the date or the date range. Bugs Land, a new land inspired by Disney Pixar's A Bug's Life. RIP to this ride. RIP to this whole land. The rest of these maps are in no particular order. The majority are more recent from the Magic Key era and the Disneyland app era. But since becoming a Magic Key holder, I really ramped up collecting maps. A Disneyland Halloween map. This one's a little bit older. It's still got a Kodak ad on the back. 2010 or 2011, I want to say this is from. An imposter. Universal Studios, kind of an imposter in here. Got Disneyland with a Kodak ad on the back. There's more like slightly older ones in here than I thought. I don't think we're gonna look inside every single one of these. The covers do say a lot, I feel like, so it's just kind of fun to see what was going on in the parks over the years. A lot of the holidays too, the characters get new outfits, or when there's new ride openings. Got DCA with Goofy. A Kodak ad, love it. Christmas Disneyland. Merriest Nights, a very short-lived After Dark event. Boogie Bash 2021. This one actually has the year on it. Main Street Electrical Parade 50th anniversary. I don't know if it's boring to say the title of each and every single one, so I'm gonna just scroll through these a little bit, but we've got some Tokyo Disney. Star Wars Night, a more recent Star Wars Night, which is like tiny. I'm not the biggest fan of like the tiny maps like this. A lot of these are very, very recent, some from this year even, I think. Rogers the Musical, Miss You, Love You, Pixar Fest, another Pixar Fest, BCA, all kinds of different seasonal holidays. This was from when Galaxy's Edge first opened, Season of the Force, and last but not least, holidays at Disneyland. I think this was last year. Yeah, it has to be because it says the 70th. A little bit of a tangent, but I just love Disney park stuff. I had to share. Also had an autograph book, but all that survived from it was the cover of it. Let me know if you also grew up with this autograph book. Then we have the games, which I think I'm most excited for in this little show and tell collection. So we're gonna start with some Kingdom Hearts here. I'm so excited to look at these. I have a couple physical copies and then strategy guides, which I am extra excited to look at. Kingdom Hearts 1 official strategy guide. I believe this was purchased when the game first came out, but without further ado, let's open this up. I'm not gonna go through every single page, I don't think. Just some fun things worth talking about. The OG Sora with the gigantic shoes, all the different abilities and everything listed here. Donald and Goofy also with the abilities, different keyblades, walkthroughs of all the different levels. I feel like games back then also were so much harder. I wish I had this book when I did the Tarzan level, because that, just looking at this, gives me flashbacks a little bit. But like despite that, it's just still very nostalgic to look at this. Then in the back, it has all the different stickers. So part of the game, you had to find all the 101 Dalmatians that were lost throughout all the different worlds. Once you found the Dalmatians, you could stick them off. Once you found all the Trinity things, you could stick those off too. Also one for Kingdom Hearts 2. This one was actually G-Chen's, and just so many memories to look through, so I thought I'd share real quick. Hey, let me know if you played any or all of the Kingdom Hearts games, but just so much fun to look through these. Because like you could look up all this information online, but I feel like there's not much fun in that. Discover all these different things along the way. I'm sad to say that the original PS2 copies are no longer in our collection, but we do have 1.5 and 2.5 remix. Basically the same, but just like slightly remastered. 1.5 remix is pretty cool because it comes in this little book. It's almost like a mini art book with different artwork, concept art, which is really fun, Disney concept art. This might be the coolest page here, but it's like the original design for Sora, semi-transparent page that turns to final design for Sora. Last but not least is the disc itself there. Love it. Love. And then the book slides into this little cardboard case like that. 2.5 remix, the physical, isn't quite as exciting, I feel like. Not a fun booklet like the other one. There is the disc, almost a booklet, more like a little pamphlet. I so wish I kept more games from this era. We are starting with PlayStation games here, but I was more of a Nintendo girly. N64, GameCube, and Game Boy defined my childhood, I feel like. When I found out about Kingdom Hearts, that was the only reason why I saved up to buy a PlayStation 2, but that is 2.5 Remix. The next thing I have to share is Game Boy games. OG Game Boy. That came with little cartridges like this, but one of the first games I ever had was Pokemon Blue version, the Japanese version. Here is what that looks like. And the case itself that these games came in is kind of also worth sharing, I feel like. I had a yellow version also. Sadly, that did not survive. Blue has my heart, I think, and blue is here to stay. My personal Game Boy did not survive to this day in the collection either, but G10's did. His was a Game Boy Pocket. The other game that survived is Tamagotchi. This was pretty much the same as having an actual Tamagotchi. Another game guide for Pokemon. Do you remember Nintendo Power Magazine? Seeing this Nintendo logo and holding it just unlocked that memory. Some very classic Pokemon art in here. This was definitely my most used game guide. Guides of all different maps within the game, what wild Pokemon you can catch there, the gym leaders, items you can find. First Pokemon game was so hard. This one also came with stickers. As you collect them, stick them on the pages. So this one was for Game Boy Advance for Fire Red and Leaf Green. Much more simplified than the other game guide. 3DS games, which are a little more recent. Animal Crossing New Leaf. I so wish I kept some N64 and GameCube games, especially Sonic Adventure 2. By far the game I've put the most hours into. Let me know what your favorite game was growing up, because I'm very curious to know. Then we've got Pokemon X and Pokemon Moon. Moon I never finished. I don't know. I didn't really connect with this game that much. I do like the generation of Pokemon that came out of this game, but the game itself, I don't know. It just wasn't for me. This was definitely when games became much more easier, or at least the Pokemon games, because this felt like a breeze compared to like Blue and Yellow. Still, the last two items, kind of deep cuts and like another sign of growing up Japanese American. Part of the time growing up, I went to regular American school during the week and then Japanese school on the weekends. An experience, I will say. One of the school supplies you needed for Japanese school was shitajiki. It's basically a piece of plastic that you put under your paper to write on. But anyways, this was a very, very early Pokemon one that my aunt sent from Japan. So it was kind of hard to find Japanese school supplies here. And it says the Japanese names of these Pokemon, but written out in English. The art style was very cute too. And then the only cassette tape that survived, somehow a Ponkiki one survived, basically kids songs in Japanese. But the fact that there's gachapin and muku on this, I do have a tattoo of them in this exact style. I think that's pretty much everything. If you collect physical media or have any remnants from your collection growing up, I'm curious to hear what you have in your collection. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. More of a laid back video this time. As always, thank you so much for being here and for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.